Hello again, it's 7th grade social studies, and I'm the host tonight for this. It's Mr. Canor. Mr. Pink is on vacation at home. I'll be telling you today about Chapter 1, Lesson 3, Regions, and giving you a little bit of information on that. But first, in your vision section, if you are a Mr. Canor student, you have a Chapter 1, Lesson 3 notebook worksheet page. You can use that one, or if I give you one, you could use that one. Also, this one, if you print it off, it will have a nicer map on it for you to work with. That's up to you. Bring it back however you want. So we're going to be talking about the regions of the United States. There are 7 of them. We'll explain them in just a minute. I keep saying will because I'm used to doing this with Mr. Panka. But over here is one of the regions. That is the Pacific. And this area here is the Rocky Mountains. This area here, Southwest. These two guys here, the non-contiguous. This area in here, Midwest. Down this area, the Southeast and the Northeast. We'll start with the first section, which is the Pacific region that I've highlighted over here in yellow. This region is right next to the Pacific Ocean, and it consists of the states of Washington, Oregon, and California. The next section we'll look at is the Southwest, consisting of Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and Oklahoma. The next section we'll talk about then is the Rocky Mountains states right here, the Rocky Mountain region. So you have the Pacific here, Southwest here, and now the Rocky Mountain region. So the Rocky Mountain region consists of these 6 states here: Utah, Nevada, Colorado, Wyoming, Idaho, and Montana. Now, we don't expect you to memorize every state that's in it, but you certainly have to know the states that are a part of it. If you spot it, you have to be able to describe, if this was yellowed out like it is here, without the names of the states, you'd have to be able to describe what region that is. But you don't have to necessarily remember every single state that's in, for example, the Midwest over here. But it will surely help you, especially on the SOL, if they throw this at you and asked you where this is, what section or what region of the country this would be. You'd have to kind of know what states belong into it. So it's not a memorization thing, but if you already know those states, great. If you don't, just understand very well where the regions are. The next guy we're going to take a look at is this one right here, which is the Midwest. It's probably the most difficult one to remember the states in if you were trying to do that, but there are ways of getting around that, and so we're concerned mostly with you knowing kind of the outline and where it lays. Then we have the Northeast right up here, and I'll give you some information in a little bit how to remember this place, this, kind of where their borders are that will help you. And then we're down to the last 2, the Southeast, right here, that circles around Florida. And then the next one, which is the non-contiguous states. And then last of all, you have the non-contiguous states down here, the non-connected, the ones that aren't with the other 48, Hawaii, which is way out here, oops, not there, way out in the Pacific, and Alaska, which is way up north, up above Washington. Those are the 2 that aren't connected, and therefore the title is non-contiguous. So now the question is, how can you remember some of these? Well, over here, these 3 states, if you take the first 3 letters, you get cow. So if you want, you could draw a little cow out here surfing or being eaten by sharks. Especially if you're a boy, that's the kind of thing you would draw on this section. The Rocky Mountain section kind of looks like a little pyramid is being built. You have 3 states here, 2 states here, and 1 here, kind of making a pyramid type shape next to the Pacific region. Down here in the southwest, the 4 states. A lot of them are kind of desert-ish areas, a lot of sand there, so you could use the mnemonic a ton because there's a ton of sand. So that's Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Arizona, a ton. Then we get into the ones that are a little bit harder, but they're not impossible by any means to remember. Up in the northeast, the part that you want to remember are the bottom 2 states of the northeast region, and their initials are PJ, Pennsylvania and Jersey, or New Jersey. So you can just think of a little puppy in pajamas. This is kind of the girl's thing. I gave the cow that's being destroyed by sharks on the other end, and we get the little pajamaed puppy over here. So what you have left over is this big mess of Midwest states and Southeast states, but it's not so bad. If you, I'm going to get rid of this part so you can see, but from Pennsylvania there's a river that flows that's separating all these states along here. It flows down here like this. Around here it's joining up with the Mississippi River, but you're going to take a detour and do the outline of Arkansas all the way to Oklahoma, and that's going to be the part that separates everything. So you follow, I'm going to use a different color here, you follow that river, and rather than going straight down to Louisiana, you're following the Mississippi, cut over. Now you've separated that section right there. And you have your 2 sections then, the Midwest up here and the Southeast here. So take a good look at these guys, memorize where they are, their names, especially the border areas if you can. That will really help you on the SOL if you get something crazy thrown at you. And so we'll see you next class. Have your questions ready. Make sure you have a comment or 2 to give to the class, and we'll see you then. Have a great weekend.